Well, good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Good. So how many of you guys been in this industry for at least 10 years? Show of hands. How many of you been in this industry at least 20 years? Show of hands. We got a few of you. Well, we're gonna talk about stuff that we've not seen in over 20 years, and some of this stuff that we're gonna see changes on now. We're also gonna talk about some stuff that we've never seen in our industry before. Andy's gonna talk a little bit about that today. But there's some pretty big changes that are happening in the industry, and some of them actually just happened. So it's not even going to happen, they have happened, and some of them are gonna be even changing more in March, right? Some of them are in November, some things have changed, so we're seeing a lot of different things, and today that's what we're gonna present on. We're gonna talk about a lot of new changes, a lot of new things that are happening. Kevin's gonna be talking a little bit about how closings have changed, right? So we have so many different things and a lot of good topics that we're gonna talk to you guys about. So it's gonna be rapid fire, right? We're gonna go about 10 minutes on each subject because there's so much happening right now, and we wanna try to get everything out to you guys. So if there's any questions you guys have, please write those down at the end, whether they're for Anthony or anybody. Write them down and we're gonna ask those questions at the end. So let us finish everything. Please write those questions down, and at the end, we're gonna go through all your questions real quick, give some time for feedback, and let everybody know answer all the questions for you, okay?
Well, welcome everyone. I'm Stephanie Fisher, Gulfside Mortgage. I work on the team with Tony Moore. He didn't introduce himself, so if you don't know him, this is Tony Moore. He's our branch manager. So obviously, we are here to help you and your buyers with any financing needs they need for their house. But we also want to help you grow your business, and one of the things we do every month, the second Wednesday of every month, we do lattes and listings here in this room. Lattes and listings is just an opportunity for realtors to come together. We usually have a guest speaker for about 15 minutes that wants to help you in your business. But then we also let you do a listing exchange. You can get up and talk about a property you're trying to get sold. We have found just by kind of being in the room with the other people, I know Tammy had a listing that her and Lori sold because they were here watching a property be talked about, and then they said, that's perfect for our buyer. So it's making connections with realtors that are not maybe in your brokerage, expanding, who you talk to, but that's our goal. We wanna help you grow your business. We wanna be here to support you in whatever way possible. So I'll make sure to get everyone information on our next one, which will be the second Wednesday in September.
Awesome, and did you get everybody's business card?
I did.
Everybody's got their business card in?
Yep.
All right, perfect. So anyway, first I'm gonna go ahead and introduce Caroline up, and if you guys could, when you guys come up, please just tell everybody who you are, maybe how long you've been with Gulfside, or you've been in the industry, or whichever you want. And the clicker should work if you push to the right. And thank you.
Hello everybody, Caroline Bissell. I have been with Gulfside Mortgage Services for 15 years. Prior to that, I was in banking for about 12, so I've been in the industry a while. But I was on Tony's team when I started, and then in November of 22, I became a loan officer, so here I am. I'm gonna talk to you guys about condos today. So, condominiums, there's some critical changes that have happened with how we can get them approved. So I'm just gonna review those for you real quick. In your packets, we do have a nice buyer's checklist, but I like to say this should be a seller's checklist, to be honest. So August 3rd, Fannie and Freddie, they have retired the limited review condo questionnaire process. So limited review condo questionnaire process made things a lot easier to be able to get a condo approved because we didn't need a budget. So now we have to do a full review, and PERS approved is no longer available at this time. So we always need insurance, needs to be 5% deductible on the condo insurance, but good news is inflation guard is no longer required.
Come on in.
So that actually helps us with the approval process on the full review. So this is for the master insurance policy of the condo itself. Reserves has increased from 10 to 15%. Before we only needed 10% reserves on the condo, so now we will need 15%. The HOA cannot pull monies from the reserve savings account to fund expenses and future reserves. So it's very important that we see this budget and calculate that for you.
Can you go back to that one? I see that says over 60% of condo associations. What's it say?
Over 60% of condo associations already abided by the 15%.
Oh, really? Oh.
So it's not really that much of a change for us to be able to get it approved.
Except for the other 40%.
Except.
They're all done for.
Well, you know,
Right,
we do have solutions for that, Tony, so I'll talk about that. Investor concentration, so this is a huge thing for us. It's no longer a thing. So before, you could only have 50% of investor concentration within that condominium association, and now it doesn't matter.
And then you guys ever had an issue with that, where there's too many investors? Yeah, so there is some good things here, it's not all bad, and this is one of the good ones that no longer is required.
Yeah. So what else is changing? So in March, technically Fannie and Freddie's doing this, but we are changing it right away in January. So, we're gonna go ahead and move it to the 15% for the reserves for us as a company, just to make sure that, we have everything ready and set for when we do our condos, and we're just gonna try to stay ahead of the curve for industry standards, so. So we can help you guys. On that checklist you have in front of you, if you have a seller that has a condo, you want them to get, cause they have probably an online portal that they can get this document from. So you wanna go ahead and get their, current annual budget, the balance sheet within the last 90 days, their insurance, master insurance certificates, include flood if they're in flood zone, as well as the property, as well as liability. That's all on your checklist in front of you, and the last 3 minutes of their meetings. So we wanna look at all that stuff
Is
for
that
you.
monthly or quarterly, or is it?
It depends on, every association's different, sometimes they meet monthly, sometimes they meet quarterly.
So we need the last 3 minutes.
We just need the last 3 no matter what.
No matter how often they meet.
Yep, no matter how often they meet. So also, ask your seller, maybe they know somebody on the board of the association who can fill out a condo questionnaire. Maybe they know somebody so they don't have to go to the, property manager. Maybe somebody who's on the board who could actually fill it out. This would be very helpful for you to sell that condo, make sure it's lendable for the regular Fannie Freddie, so you know what type of, contracts to accept from buyers. So,
Oh, is that?
that is not me. So here's another thing, let me, as well as everybody here on our team, help you with the condo. Get this stuff up front for your sellers, we can tell you. The good news is we have alternatives. We have non-warrantable condo, lenders that we can go to. And most importantly, we have another lender that doesn't require any of this stuff.
Not even a condo questionnaire.
Not even a condo questionnaire. Or insurance.
It's no condo approval. So literally what Carolyn's talking about, you must have sent the other slide over, maybe that one got missed,
It
unless
must
it's
have
next.
gotten missed.
Go, oh, there it is,
Oh, there it is.
the wrong one, ahead.
Yep. So no condo questionnaire, no condo docs, no condo review, no EPO work, so what that means is that if they pay it off early, we don't get penalized on our end.
That's for us.
Yeah, that's for us. There's competitive rates, I mean, they are probably, I would say,
Low of 6.5.
they're probably even lower than some of our,
Conventional?
yeah.
Cash the close on
It's like a equity line for purchase.
No, they go up to 80%.
Right, but in a regular condo, it would get 3%.
Depending,
So
yeah.
that's only,
Yeah,
that's right.
But it-
That was
but-
great.
Alright, 20% is not a huge.
How many of you guys had a problem with a condo in the last year? Not being able to get financing? Listen, there's plenty. We just got one that just came into us. They couldn't get financing. We literally closed our first one with them. Last Thursday I closed it. They came to us. Their credit union turned them down. The reason why their credit union turned them down is because there was a leasehold. A leasehold means they're leasing a part of the property from a third party. That's not okay. Fannie and Freddie do not allow that at all. So it's completely turned down. Nobody else would take it. We got it in, we turned around, they were going to Key West on Friday of last week, we turned around and had it clear to close in 6 business days. And got it closed. So if you guys are looking for something or having issues, as Caroline said, the 50% rolls out. But the biggest thing to remember, I believe what you said, is getting those documents up front to see if that condo is approved. Like, that's part of your job to do when you're listing a property, is to know what options you have for that property. So take that questionnaire that we have there, that's all updated with the new information, and if somebody on our team can help you understand what options you have, let us know, because there are multiple options out there, not just Fannie and Freddie, that some lenders might turn down. Okay?
And we can even do like co-flyers, like if it's not gonna be a Fannie Freddie approved property, we can do co-flyers for you guys.
Yeah, and guess what you can do? If you're the realtor, you go out there and you find those ones that say financing not available, and then you tell them, yes, there is, and guess who gets the listing? You do, because you're the one that's showing them there's more buyers available than just cash buyers. Literally, we can close this loan with basically any condo in here, any condo in Florida, so.
So, yes, so let us help you. So, we are your business partners. We're trying to here to make sure that you can grow too. So you're not turning down those listings that you think aren't lendable, or you're turning down those buyers thinking that they can't get approved, so, for these type of properties.
Awesome, is that it?
That's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Morning, everybody. I'm Kevin Corbett. I am a loan officer here at Gulfside Mortgage Services. I've been here for just over 2 years. I've been a loan officer since 2006, and I specialize in VA loans. Today, we're not going to talk about VA loans, though. We're going to talk about our alternative financing options, or portfolio loans. So these are going to be a great fit for, your buyers that don't fit into the traditional box. Traditional underwriting, we're gonna need pay stubs, W-2s, tax returns, things of that nature. But not everybody on paper will qualify using those methods. So we have some alternative qualifying methods, great for self-employed borrowers, or maybe people that have a lot of assets, is what we would consider here. So there's more ways to keep the transaction moving forward when the traditional financing falls apart. So we'll start with the self-employed. I mean, this is probably the most common that we see here. Somebody that's self-employed, they might take a lot of deductions on their tax return. So they might have tons of revenue coming in, but then at the end of the year, the profit is very, very low, and we're just not gonna get through traditional underwriting. So with our bank statement program, we can do either a 12 or 24-month bank statement. We can use either personal or business bank statements for this, and it's a cash flow analysis. So we're gonna analyze deposits. So somebody that's sitting on cash, this isn't gonna work, but anybody that's actually using a bank system, this is a great resource. There's like a standard expense ratio that we put in there, and it's a very simple process. We can get those bank statements up front. We can get that income analyzed before we go under contract and know exactly what we're working with. In addition to that, we have a profit and loss statement program. So maybe we don't want to analyze all the bank statements. We can just have a P&L prepared and qualify using that. Or lastly, anybody that's on a 1099, we can just look at the 1099. So we don't have to go to the Schedule C of the tax return. We don't have to go to the the 1120S and factor in all those write-offs and deductions. We can just use the bottom line on the 1099, and those numbers are usually very different. So a self-employed borrower with significant tax write-offs isn't automatically out of the game. These are great options to help them get qualified. Also, investment properties, we call this a DSCR, or a debt servicing collateral ratio program. So we're not gonna look at any income whatsoever. The property is gonna stand alone, and it's gonna be just straight cash flow based off of the perceived rental income. So we're gonna do a rental analysis there for that, determine how much market rent we would expect to see from that property. As long as it offsets the obligation for that property, we're done.
It's actually in the picture, I just seen that, you got it over there.
There we go.
Yes,
So
a calculator.
we got the calculator, and that's a 1.72. We don't need a 1.72. a 1.0, or some will actually even go below 1, but we just as a frame of reference say like a 1-to-1 ratio as a standard. So when somebody says my debt to income ratio is too high, this is gonna be a option if we're talking about an investor. And yes, that is from ChatGPT, good catch. Oh gosh. So then we've got asset depletion or asset-based lending. So we can qualify just based off of assets. So asset qualifier, basically the person has more than enough assets in the bank to buy the property in cash, but they don't want to liquidate their assets. So we have a way to either deplete those assets and calculate a monthly income to qualify on, or just a straight asset qualifier. It's a percentage of the purchase price. So if we're buying a $500,000 home and we've got $750,000 or $1 million in the bank, we're done. Like that's the end of the qualifying for that borrower. So very simple, straightforward. We can get these qualified, within a very short period of time because we're just analyzing one set of documents. So low taxable income doesn't necessarily mean low purchasing power. We've also got the buy before I sell client, and so we have a couple of options to create a bridge type of a situation.
You go to the back.
Oh, did I go back? Oh, my bad. Somebody's got a house. I'm working with somebody right now. They want to sell the house in Massachusetts. They're buying the house down here in Rotunda, but they don't want to tie the two of them together. So we have some bridge options where we can pull some equity out of that departing residence if necessary. We can even put a contract on that home so that we can eliminate it from the debt to income ratio. We can leverage home equity lines of credit for down payment. So every situation is different, but there's lots of options to creatively structure the financing to help somebody buy before they sell, so that we're not like homeless or living out of a U-Haul in that transition. Not everybody likes that type of a stressful situation. So if we can remove that contingency, it really creates a stronger offer if we become more of a seller's market as well, right? Not everybody wants to accept a contingent offer because you don't know what's gonna happen on that departing residence.
Hey, two things on that. So first of all, if we set this up this way and we remove that contingency, it doesn't mean they can't sell first, right? They still have the ability to sell. So we don't have to use these programs. But I don't know if you guys know, but I was just talking to Change Wholesale, and as long as we have a letter from the borrower stating they intend to sell, we don't count the party property against them at all.
Wow.
So literally you just have to have a letter stating they're intending to sell with one of our lenders, which is amazing.
And mine, we pre-qualified them, pre-approved them, non-contingent, the house went on the market, it's now under contract. They're not even gonna use my whole bridge that I set up, but they were able to go under contract to buy that next house without the contingency, so it was a stronger offer going in. Now we'll still sell their house, they won't need it, they'll still need an end loan, we're still gonna help them with some financing, but it just makes for a cleaner offer, so we're not tying the two together. When the loans get a little bit bigger, so these are jumbo loans, anything beyond the standard conventional loan maximum, which in our area is $832,750. So we do have some jumbo financing that will go up to $3.5 million with as little as 10% down. We're also using kind of like a piggyback option as well in some situations depending on the size. So it might be a first mortgage to that conventional loan maximum, and then paired with a home equity line of credit behind it. So again, everybody's situation is different, but we do have some great options to go beyond that for some of these higher priced purchases.
Kevin, I think we should have a contest to see who in here can find us our first $3.5 million.
Yes.
With 10% down. With 10% down. Let's do it.
There's gotta be a reward for that though.
New golf cart.
All right,
You
so,
ain't enough to buy a car.
We're
So-
capped, unfortunately.
Yeah.
so maybe car payment, we can make a car payment for you.
Yeah.
So the scenario matters more than the product. You don't need to know every loan program. What you need to know is that we do know every loan product, and we're gonna turn over every stone to help get that deal done for you. So when you hear things like, my CPA writes everything off, my debt to income ratio is too high, most of my money is tied up in investments, I have to sell my current home before I buy, my income is complicated, I'm buying an investment property, the loan amount is too high for conventional financing. Think of us and we'll help diagnose the financial problem and enable you to get that contract through. So the biggest takeaway, again, you don't need to know every loan program. Every buyer's financial picture is different. Traditional financing is only one path towards home ownership. We are great at those, but we also leverage some of these other options as well. Self-employed investor, asset heavy, jumbo, or buy before you sell, there may be another solution. Your job isn't to figure out how to structure the loan. Your job is to simply recognize the opportunity and start the conversation. So don't pre-qualify or disqualify. That's for us to do for your buyers. And that's it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hold please.
That's just me, that's just how I have to do it, I'm on social media, of course. Angie Vance, Gulfside Mortgage, and I've been here for 10 years. I just joined Tony in partnership this year to help him grow his team, help him grow his business and my business together. So if you hear me on the phone, even though you referred to Tony, just know that we are in it together, and I'm here to help in any way possible and answer any questions if he's not available, and vice versa. We're talking today about how we can keep your commission in your pocket. So we have to be the experts. You have to be the expert, we all have to be experts. So keeping commission in your pocket isn't us just giving you more listings and more this and more that. It's just, when you have people coming to you, you want to know that you can answer any question that they have and make sure that they're confident that they hired the right real estate agent. That being said, you also have to have a great team of professionals on your side that you can refer business to. Your title company, your inspector, and of course your mortgage company. So with all of the changes that are happening, of course, like Kevin said, you don't have to know everything, just know who to go to answer all the questions. You'll probably know more about this than I do. I read as much as I possibly could, and then I asked ChatGPT to read it out loud to me so that I can just hear it, what I think what it's trying to say, this new tax law coming into effect. But I'm gonna just kind of go over some things that I want you to think about when we're talking to buyers. So the first thing we'll talk about is the updates that are impacting the potential Florida tax change. Now, I don't wanna spend a lot of time on this because it's all hypothetical, because we have no idea if this is gonna pass. We need 60% in votes in order for it to even pass, and that's gonna be happening in the November election. So if it does pass, the homestead exemption is going to, or could potentially increase up to $150,000 starting in 2027. So anybody who is a Florida home resident in 2026 can take advantage of this if they purchase a home starting January 1st of 2027. And then in 2028, it'll increase up to $250,000. And then if you're a new Florida resident, or if you become a Florida resident after January 1st, then you'll still get the $50,000, but you have to wait at least 5 years in order to, for the increased exemption to take place. And I don't know if you also saw in part of the bill, the investors will also see a small relief. Their taxable value will increase only can increase up to 5% instead of 10%. Here is, and this is out also in your paperwork, and there's a QR code that'll take you directly to the website that kind of goes over the bill. But these are some of the bullet points from what I took out of here and put it onto our slideshow here. But how does one become a resident of Florida? We all probably know the answer to that question. Get a driver's license, register to vote, buy your home, or sign a rental agreement. There's other ways, register your vehicle, have to sort of power and light bill, things like that. And as long as you establish residency prior to December of 31st of 2026, you are considered a Florida resident and could potentially qualify for these exemptions. If you establish after that, then So I, kind of want you to think of these tax changes as kind of like a reverse rate buy down. With a 2-1 buy down, a borrower's monthly payments start out lower and then increase over time. So if somebody buys a home this year, their payments are gonna start out higher and potentially decrease over time because their taxable value is going to decrease over time. So in this example, I brought up a listing in Venice, on Cobblestone Circle, and their current sale price is at $640, and their just market value right now is $431,000, as it sits right now. So when the person buys this home for, purchase price is $640, their property tax bill, if they do not file any homestead exemption, this is for somebody who's buying it as a second home or something like that, is $7,300. And a monthly payment, $614 if they get a mortgage. Monthly tax payment on their monthly payment is $614 a month. Somebody who's purchasing this home in 2026 and does not have a homestead exemption already, so they're a first-time home buyer, for example, they still have to pay the current tax bill, okay? And then in 2027, the tax assessments are gonna come out and the new tax bill is gonna come out, and that's when the $150,000 is going to take effect. So their monthly payment for the first year is gonna be $614 a month. And then the following year, it's going to be estimated at $495 a month. That's a decrease, obviously, of $120 a month, right? And then the following year after that, it's gonna decrease another $50 a month. Yeah, and now this is estimated, this is all based off of today's, taxable values, but can you see that that's a huge difference for our clients, especially for first-time home buyers, those people that are payment conscious, this is a good win for them, okay?
That's
Now-
$170 per month
Yeah,
less.
yes,
So I wanna make sure you guys heard that there. This is something that if they're a Florida resident and they purchase before January 1st of this year, how many people are working with people out of town that are thinking about buying houses and moving here? This is what you should be talking to them about. That their tax bill over the next 2 years could potentially go down $170 a month just by buying that house before January 1st. If they wait, and back on the last slide, it says they're gonna get a $50,000 deduction, right? Wherever you might have been 2 slides before.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's a huge reason for people to buy before the year's over. So, it's end of August, I don't know if you guys know this, the year's almost over. And this is huge, this is out-of-state buyers, like, you guys should be blasting this to your databases, you guys should be blasting this and talking this to every person that you know that's out of town. You probably should be putting ads in papers in your hometown, I mean, this is like social media stuff, like this here, that's huge, Angie, like, that's a lot. I'm glad you broke that down, because I have not looked at that yet.
Yeah.
On how that breakdown works.
I'm gonna show you, I'm sure, you probably have all seen the tax estimator, but I'm gonna just show you real quick where I got all this information. But somebody who is currently homesteaded, so I put my house into this, for example. So if I were to have sold my home for, I think it was like $750 or $850, and I have portability. My first year's payments obviously would be $614. My next year would be $420 a month.
Wow.
And then the following year is $372. This is for somebody who, I owned my home, I've been a Florida resident for 11 years, 12 years.
That's $240 a month
So,
in savings.
again, this is like huge savings. You're an expert, you can show them this, and they're gonna thank you even more for showing them things like this. Alright. Alright, so, here's my house, for example. I'm gonna go down and go to the tax estimate.
Does everybody know about this, that she's going to, or can see it? If you're not using this thing is amazing.
Yeah, it's perfect. I use this for all of my clients who are very are payment conscious. And if I see that a home is sold or purchased, or the home that they're buying was purchased prior to 2020, I'm doing this for them every single time, because their tax payments are gonna double, sometimes triple, and then they don't get excited about it anymore.
Then they call and yell at us.
Yeah, they call it milling.
Why did my payment go up $300 a month?
Yes. Alright, so go under tax estimator, into the property appraiser's actual address, that the top part is already gonna be filled out for you. And then what the purchase price is going to be, so I'm just putting 100,000 on my house. Are you transferring homestead exemption, so put yes or no, whatever it is, I'm gonna put yes. And are you, and then you put the portability address, you put it in there, so I'm just gonna put no,
Just do one real quick, just say yes.
yes.
Just do, 1088 Panda, just do mine.
Okay. And
So the cool thing about it, why I wanted to show you this, 10-0. The reason I wanna show you, see how everything's just auto-populating? Like, that's how easy this thing is, and it does it at the top too. Where you just start typing it in, and there's only two 1088s that start with a P. So it's super easy, and it pulls the assessed value for you. It shows what the portability is, like it does all the work for you on, this website. And this is available, Angie, what, Sarasota,
Sarasota, Charlotte.
Lee County, I believe,
Yes.
not Manatee.
Doesn't-
Manatee does not have it.
Yeah, Charlotte County now has it on their website, on the actual, assessor's website too, so
Yeah.
it's great, it's a great tool to have. Again, it's very important for those people that are payment conscious. If you can bring this up to them and show them what their payments are gonna change over time, you're gonna tell them, we're gonna tell them, and then we're all gonna be there, when they come to us and tell us about it, and we start telling them about my realtor, and I'm okay with it. Okay, good.
Nice.
So good.
I mean, honestly, everybody, you should be printing the tax estimator before you go look at the house. Like, to let them know what their payment's gonna be, especially with the calculator we give that shows the taxes and insurance. You just put that in, so they'll know what their payment's gonna be, before they look at houses.
When you're going inter-county, like if you're moving from Sarasota County to Charlotte County, will you still be able to?
Not as easy, but yes, yes. So, the question is, can you go in there and use your portability easily? You can still do the portability if you're going from county to county. It just won't pull it up with the tax savings, because those were both Sarasota County, where it's not gonna have Sarasota County's information in Charlotte County's. So, no, so not as easy.
And with the new proposed, tax, the portability will remain.
I'm sorry,
With its new tax credits and everything that they're proposing, the portability will remain?
Yes.
Okay.
And the 50,000 is not going away either. Like that, if somebody buys a home in next year as their primary residence, they're still gonna get that up to 50,000 exemption. And they don't have to own a home in 2026, they just have to be a Florida resident. If you scan the QR code on your paper, that has the actual like 14-page bill. And let's hope it actually works.
All right, so something Kevin said, don't diagnose your problems, right, your mortgage problems. I do find people doing that. Who's that a job for? The mortgage doctor, right? That's what we do, guys, we're all doctors essentially. You know, we're gonna diagnose your client's financials. What I always tell my people who work with me is, I want you to focus on making your phone ring. I often see them getting involved, so let us help you in that aspect. And with that said, I am Anthony Lozano, the mortgage doctor. I just want a little introduction. And I've been with Gulfside 9 years. I don't even know what you're talking about that. I used to work with the Berkshire Group here, these lovely ladies. And it's the first company that makes sense, right? So in the business though, 30 years. So that's a lot. I'm actually 30 years old. And I've lost my hair a lot, so. But no, it's a fun business, guys. So the first thing I want to talk to you is, let's find a way, make the no the yes. How many here knows someone who's renting, right? By show of hands, right? We're just talking about this. A lot of times, oh, I can't buy it. How do you know you can't buy it? They make a decision without even speaking to someone, right? That's not, they don't know this. You don't know this. We don't know this unless we speak to them. The mistake I always see is, oh, maybe you can, or hey, call this person. Guys, if you do that, you're losing, right? You're gonna call somebody else, they're gonna give them some advice, and you're actually may even lose the lead all itself. If you don't know, we co-brand your leads. We follow your leads. We include you in it. If you just give us your lead sheet, you're essentially marketing to them just by sending it to us. So let's start with helping you make a no a yes, right? The common problems. Oh, I don't have enough money. right? Or monthly payment, right? So it's not the job to say, oh, $400,000 home, that can change, right? There's so many variables. Let us have that conversation with them, right? And let us find, so, because a lot of people are closer to buying a home than they really think. So one of the tools I wanna give you is solve the cash to close problem first, right? Down payment assistance, anybody here close a down payment assistance loan with us, or anyone? Right? They're great. So, some are better than others, I think, in my opinion, but when you think about what rents are right now, 2-bedroom, is a condo is like $2,300, $2,400 a month, right? You may be able to get them in for the same price. And guess what? Yes, they have to, down payment, you do pay that back, but they're in a home, they're building equity. That is the biggest wealth builder we have, guys. And so, a lot of people, let's help them figure out what's the issue first, right? So how do we fix the cash to close problem? Down payment assistance, right? I just kind of took a picture, like, they're all over, there's tons of programs, right? We have a website we go to depending on where they're buying. Remember, we just don't do here, we do anywhere in Florida and other states. So there's a ton of programs. I just wanted to kind of show you a few of them without getting into it. But like, for example, the standard bond can be up to $10,000, $12,000, right? There's other ones, 3%, 4%, 5%. And the the idea is not knowing what the programs are, just knowing that they're out there. Because what happens if we can give someone the down payment of 5%? And are we in a buyer's market or seller's market right now? Right, kind of almost a buyer's market, kind of maybe shifting. Well, we're gonna talk about that later. You get them the money to buy, and the down payment assistance, you get the seller to pay the closing costs, what are they walking in with? Right? So that fixes your cash to closure problem, guys. So, the payment, well, let's talk about that next. Every $1,000 you finance into the loan, $6 to $7 per month. So I always tell my clients, hey, what would you rather do? Save, let's say we have $20,000, whatever that number is, 20,000, 20 times 6, 120. Would you rather save $120 a month, or have almost a year put away in payments? You're scared of home, I get it. But let's take that money or pay off your car. You have an $800 a month car payment, guys. Let's pay that off so all you're paying is the home. The mortgage is the cheapest money you're going to find. Rent is 100% interest. I always hear Tony say that, right? So let us find that problem. Let us fix that problem first. Hometown Heroes. How many people have closed a Hometown Hero loan? One out of the room.
Just one?
Yep.
No.
2? Okay.
Couple?
So, does everyone know what a powerful program that is? Right? You're helping people in this community that are jumping into fires, that are saving lives, that are teaching our children. What an opportunity for us to give back, right? This program is meant for all first responders, teachers. There's a big list we can always give you, but this is a wonderful program. It's a 0% deferred second mortgage. So, yes, they have to pay it when they sell. There's no interest on it. It's free money that they're using over 10, 20, whatever years they stay in the home. And again, you're helping somebody that's helping our community. Remember, private, they don't all make that money, right? Private, it's more of an intrinsic award when you go to these professions. They're not making $200,000, $300,000, right? So what a way to help them. The key takeaway is just have a conversation when you're getting to know them. What do you do? Hey, what do you do for work? And if there's some possibility, say, have you heard that you can get in with almost no money down? What do you mean? If they're veterans, Kevin loves veterans, so do I. We can do a 0% down with a VA loan and get them the money for the down payment assistance without you even asking a penny from the seller. Did anybody know that? Right? So, what a powerful program, guys. And this is what the rates look like. 6.2, this is as of yesterday, by the way. 35 million is still available, sounds like a lot, goes fast. Okay, it's off of Florida.
Did you see the rates compared to the other rates though?
Yeah. I was gonna go back to that. So when we look at, these are the regular down payment assistance, rates are probably in the high 6s. Regular down payment sometimes is a little higher, right, than the standard. But when we switch over and we go to the Hometown Heroes, 6.25 for an FHA loan. You can't get that.
Which
if you're
is
putting-
lower. That's awesome.
You can't put that, if you're putting the down payment into the loan. The rates are not at 6.25 today. So, what a great way to get back. They give them 5% down payment, FHA, you get up to 3.5, you still have 1.5% left. And then you ask for 3% from the seller. Beautiful thing, right? So, this is what they look like here. Again, this is what's left, and we can check these daily for you. The main thing is asking, getting involved now. What a conversation to have. Hey, if you buy your home now, you're gonna save on taxes, plus we can get you this program, these funds before they leave, right? If you're not having these conversations, you gotta have them, right? Tool number 2, we talked about different programs, right? It's not always a conventional, it's not always an FHA, it's not one size fits all. Sometimes we can put them in a, that you don't know that they're veteran, or they don't think they qualify, because maybe they bought a home before using their VA, guess what, you can, right? So VA, you can actually help them with the payment because it's 0 and there's no monthly PMI. So we're gonna find the right solution, but it's not always about price, it's not always about rates, it's never about rates. I don't even discuss rates, honestly, unless you ask. We talk about payment. What is a comfortable payment for you, Sharon? Right? What is a comfortable payment for you? Right? Why? I don't wanna pay more than $300,000. Okay, I mean, $50,000 a month, great. Now we know what to work with and how to structure that program. So, let us help you with that. I scream this out to my end and people just don't get it. Pop quiz. Every 1,000 is how much per month? $6. Okay. So, if you go into and we're gonna talk about this, if you go into a transaction, I wanna lower it by $10,000. Great, that's $60 per month. What if we can lower it by $200 a month? Right? How do we do that? I'll show you. 2 ways. We can either do a temporary buy down. Caroline talked about this. Caroline, I said it, good job.
It only took
I've been
9
calling her
years.
Caroline for many years. But guys, this is a great solution. And guys, I'm gonna be in maybe 5 years. This is a short-term home. How do you know this? Are you having conversations? Are you asking them? We are, right? What's your intention of the home? Is this your forever home? Well, no, I'm gonna buy here. We may be having a baby in 3 years, but we didn't wanna rent for 4 or 5 years. We wanted to buy and then maybe build some equity. Great. Let's do something like this. Let's just say the rate today was 7.5. It's not, but let's just say it is, close maybe.
Yeah.
Right? So we get them today into a 5.5, next year 6.5, and all the buy down is $15,000. That's what you're asking for the seller to get this rate. So, $841 savings for year 1, $430 for year 2. This is based on $800,000, the home that Angie was talking about. And this is a great, I wouldn't say a long-term solution, but this is a great mid kind of solution. If they don't know if this is a forever home, right? If they do know it's a forever home, actually, before I jump in, and if you're having an open house, guys, we have flyers for everything. If you think you want to advertise something like this, we do the comparisons for you. We'll put your picture on it for you. We'll put the picture of the house, whatever you want, just ask, right? Don't just go in and show the MLS. There's so many things we do for you, right? Rate 5, this is the one that I love, okay? We talked about $60 per month. I do this comparison on my consultation when I get something like this. So, regular person comes in, $450, 10% down, they want to lower it to $15,000, you're going to save a whopping $85 a month. That's not bad, right? That's one night of drinking, don't drink in Prime. I guess not a lot more than one night. We're going to on Prime. So, what if we keep the price, higher price, and we can get you a lower payment? Does that make sense to anybody? No. Why? Because we're getting a better rate, right? We're able to buy down that rate. And if we get them into 5.6, guess what? We're saving them money a month. It's a pretty big difference, but I'm gonna show you the trick after. 2, we're saving them refinance costs. Kinda hurts us because we want the business, but we're doing the best for the client. So they're gonna save $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 in refinance costs later down the line. And what I do, I plug it in, I'm like, listen, you're saving this money. If you just made your normal payments after 5 years, this is what you're gonna owe. If you take that $143 you're saving with the higher price point and you apply it, $9,800 in just 5 years. So even if they wanna sell the home, they've recouped an extra $10,000 in their pocket. If you take it 10 years, $22,000. I don't know what, $85 per year, that's what, 8 times 10, that's $8,000 that you saved in 10 years versus 22. Who would rather save 22 than 8? Right? Price is not the issue. It's figuring it out. Seller concessions is the best money you can get up front and the cheapest money to help your clients get into a lower payment, or if they don't have the money. Either way, it's such a strong option, right? So the last I'm gonna leave you with here is, again, first conversation when we're getting to know these clients, what's stopping them from buying, right? Just, why aren't you buying now? Have you thought about buying? Ask them that question. And then let us step in, could down payment assistance, down heroes, could seller credit, like, let's figure out what we're dealing with and see if, and like I was just telling them, if they can't buy, they can't buy, right? I can usually tell the first day if they can buy or not, right? And if I say green, it's a green, it's gonna go. So, 15-minute conversation, and again, are you gonna tell them to call me, or are you going to have me call them? Right? Let me call them for you. We're gonna co-brand you, we're gonna keep them in front of you, we're gonna protect your commission, right? And if it's a no, guys, that's fine, but at least, what did you say? They don't know?
They don't know what they don't know.
They don't know what they don't know, right? Okay, great, you can't qualify, let's find you a rental. But, let's not give up that easy. So, before, I just wanna tell you guys, listen, we're just not a lender, right? Don't call my lender, call my advisor, right? We're financial planners, we're accountants. Yes, I've been a marriage counselor before. What's that?
Can you go back one? I'm sorry, I missed it.
This one?
Yes, thank you.
Yes. And if anybody wants to, we can tell it to you. But yes, I've been in the middle of a divorce and they're trying to buy out the other spouse, and the last one I did, that would take us another 10 minutes or more, but we are marriage counselors and we're deal savers, right? We're gonna help protect you, right? Your clients, we're gonna take care of them, we're gonna help you grow your business, and the client, we're gonna make you look like a rock star. So focus on making your phone ring, pass it to us, and make your phone ring the next time, we're gonna deliver it back. Thank you, guys.
Alright, so this is the last segment, and we'll get into the Q&A. So this is the remote online notary with a Ron. Closing from almost anywhere. This is great technology really for anybody that's not physically here. For the closing, if they're closing out of state, if you've got borrowers closing in multiple locations, it's a e-sign and a notary online with all of the documents. No traditional closing table required. The closing can come to the client instead of the client having to come to the closing. I'm gonna play this. This is actually gonna probably be the best description of what this looks like from the client side.
Has anybody done a round closing yet?
Yeah. So easy, same day, it's not like a next day funding, it's all done on the same day.
It was in there. Okay.
We copied it over, maybe it didn't.
It didn't.
Stay.
Okay, well. it's
We'll
not
send
in-
out the video.
Anyways, it's a video, it's a short little video, it's about 4 minutes. So we'll send that to you so you can see the client facing version of it. It's super simple, you don't have to be technology savvy to do that. Why you should care? We have a lot of people relocating to Florida, and sometimes the logistics of trying to plan for that closing, that seamless transaction. We've got buyers that always seem to want to take a vacation when they're buying or selling a home, so this can really help in that type of circumstance. We got busy professionals, sometimes they can't leave work. I've got a teacher who can't leave work, and we're trying to do a closing at 4, and now it's gonna fund the following day just because we're closing at the end of the day. So this is a great option for this. Military families, spouses in different locations, and just clients with scheduling or mobility challenges. So there's more flexibility. At closing means one less logistical hurdle between the contract and the closing. We do want to plan for this early. It's not for every loan program, so we want to make sure that we are utilizing a program that we can access this with. We also need to do this in conjunction with the title company, so we need to make sure their capacity can handle this as well. There are some state jurisdiction requirements, but when the signer can't physically be present, this is a really great option. You just want to bring it up as early as possible. Don't wait till closing day or the day before and say, hey, can we do this as a Ron closing? We really want to plan for this to make sure that it's seamless for the buyers. This is just more of the the traditional closing, schedule, travel, sit down, wet sign, notarize. With remote, it's verify, it's connect online, it's an e-signature, and there's a remote notary that's there. It's just a few clicks, it's much faster and seamless for the buyers. And don't wait to closing. Ron should be part of the closing plan, not a last minute rescue.
Awesome. You know, another thing that I love about the Ron closings, how many of you guys, somebody that's moving out of state here? Right, a lot of people have second homes. Anybody sell a second home, vacation home here? Right? How many of those people are actually here? Not many. And we either have two options, right? It's either title company, go ahead and just send them the disclosures, have them sign it, and then they'll just send them back. And you guys got to find a notary. Yeah, you have to get signed. Oh, you forgot to sign this page. Can't fund, not closing day. Let's go ahead and send that back to them again. You guys have to get the sign notarized and back. This Ron Notary's taking all that out of it. So remote online notary, we've been switching that and changing that in ours. As Kevin said, it's not for every product. I think FHA and VA, is that correct? Non-government loans still not okay. Conventional loans are good though. So all conventional, so that's a second home, right? The second home's good. So we're taking that out of there a lot. So that's awesome. That's becoming a big part. Like I said, some new things. New things with tax laws, new things with the Ron mobile closing that's never been around, so. What's wrong one? Anyway, I'd love to, if you guys have any questions for any of them, I would love to hear them and.
Okay, so it's kind of a two-part question, for all of you, really. So, when it comes to condos, you know, most of them, of course, as we know, are not qualified for FHA, and do you find that most of that is because of the investor-owned ratio that was present, and do you think that's gonna change now with this new change?
So honestly, that has to do with the management company themselves. They have to apply to get FHA approval. So if you have somebody you know that is within that management company that wants to try to get their condo, or that association on the board, wants to get their condo approved FHA, they have to go through those steps. We can help them do that.
You can still do spot approvals though.
We can still do the spot approvals, yes.
So
But
spot
yes.
approval means that if you have one condo you're gonna sell and it needs to go FHA, we can get that one unit approved. But, you know, what Carolyn's talking about, I have been doing this for 25 years now. I have told every realtor, if you wanna get a condominium FHA approved, please let me know, because I would love for you to become the preferred lender, or the preferred realtor in there. And I guess some of you realtors have taken me up on it 25 years. Seriously, I'm not lying. I've never had a realtor follow through on any one of them, ever. And I told them, I'll do all the work, you just have to get with the association and get me what I need. So, we'll do those with everybody. I've literally 25 years have told this to hundreds of realtors and nobody ever has. So if you wanna get an FHA condo approved, just get with us, because all of us would help you do that. The biggest reason why it usually gets denied is they have first right of refusal, and that's the number one no. So if you ask them that question, hey, is there a approval process for the client? And if it's yes, and they can refuse that person, the answer is no with FHA 100% of the time, because that is discrimination, they do not allow it. Yeah.
Same thing with VA.
Yeah, VA too.
So does that mean that they can't run a background check, or is that, you may wanna explain that?
That means that they can deny them for buying that condo.
For what reason?
Just based on, yeah, for no reason.
Even based on like criminal activity, because that's not a covered.
Yeah, we can dig into a little bit more, but usually the first right of refusal is the number one thing. Yeah.
The VA is if, they're vacating their property, but wanna keep it, they have to approve the new buyer, and that's
Yeah.
what the VA doesn't like. Or not
Yes.
the new buyer, but the new renter.
Yeah, and some of them, like another one too, Bird Bay, reminds me of Bird Bay. Bird Bay has when you buy the property, you can't rent it back out for at least a year, I believe, in some of the sections. That's not okay. The reason why is, what FHA is trying to do is protect the buyer. So what that means is when you buy a place, if for some reason your company moves you out of town and you can't sell that place, we want you to be able to rent it. And if they go, no, you can't rent it for the first year, well, why?
Yeah.
It's my place that I had to move and I can't sell it, now what am I supposed to do? Let it go to foreclosure? That's what they don't want.
Yeah, my question, so you guys brought up, or Anthony brought up about renters and them being like, I can't get into a house or whatever, but the example you gave of the rent being like $2,300 for a 2-bed. At one point along my travels, I've come across somebody that was also a lender, but not with you guys, that had mentioned that there is an option to, like the buyout for the renter to maybe, if they found a property, to get out of their lease and the fees that go associated with that. Is that something that is possible or no?
I mean, the only way.
To like
I know-
bundle it into like the
Right.
expenses
Like,
purchase?
yeah, I have $30,000 to work with
Mhm.
total, and they need that for closing, well,
Mhm.
let's get a seller 5%, a $5,000 seller contribution to buy you out.
Okay.
There's nothing you can throw on top of the loan.
Okay.
Like, just like if you're buying it for 100,000,
Mhm.
which, right, that's how long I've been doing it. 100,000, you can't say I'm gonna do 105, right? It has to be, the purchase price would have to be 105 if it appraises and get whatever you need back. But nothing can ever go on top.
Okay.
You know, that's a great question, because right now, what we have, this is a kind of a buyer's market. So these things are relevant to today's market, what Anthony's talking about with these seller concessions and rate buy downs and stuff, it's possible. I mean, I just had an appraisal come in $65,000 more than the purchase price.
I just have, I have one like 80.
This week.
So, you guys remember a few years back, when you put an offer in, I mean, a property in, and what would happen, like in the first day, you had like 50 offers come in, forget if you had financing, right? That's what drove the prices up. Right now, we're the opposite. Maybe we're not in a full buyer's market, but it could also be soon. Because eventually, if it gets back there, this is not gonna be a deal.
So I have a question, so if the property appraiser, if the lender's appraiser is going out to appraise the property, and do they know that there's gonna be a seller concession, that it may be a little bit higher than?
No, it's not higher, it's because that's what you've negotiated in the contract.
It's the contract price.
Right, so let's just say that
So you
you're
want it
asking.
appraised at the contract price, because that's what the loan is gonna be, but the seller is giving concessions, so really the sales price is gonna be less
higher
than
number.
that.
No, it's, okay, so you have 100, let's go 100, it's easy again. $100,000, your client wants to offer 90,000,
Mhm.
right? They want to raise the 10%, 90,000 is the price. Same client needs money now, you make 100,000 asking price, but getting 10,000 back.
Okay.
We're still at 90. You just have not reduced the price, you're going full price. And obviously, you know, if you feel it's overpriced, you may wanna do some comparables. Do your numbers, you guys can do that, CMA. But the price is always what you negotiate.
So in his case of 100,000, it has to appraise for 100,000.
Correct, if that's the asking price, and as opposed, right now, we can do that. We're not increasing above MLS listing. We're not there yet.
Right.
We're, instead of negotiating down, you're including
price.
full price offer with whatever you need. So, let's just say you go 100 and you offer 90 with 10, and they counter offer 95 with 10. The 10,000 slides.
Okay.
The price is moving, you know,
Yeah.
full price.
Does the appraiser have access to that information before they go out and?
The contract is-
So you're gonna write the contract, let's say it's $500,000 purchase price, and you're getting 20,000 in concessions. Its sales price is 500,000, and then it says seller concessions 20,000. So they can see both of those in your
They
contract.
can see it.
Yep.
Yes.
So the full purchase price is the full amount, but the seller's only gonna receive 480 because they're giving 20,000 back.
I just didn't know what
Yep.
the appraiser had access to in terms of what they're.
And they can't make a determination, oh, because you're getting a $20,000 sales price, they're looking at what has sold in that community
Right, right.
for 500,000. If there's no sales.
Kevin, when's the best time for your clients to get pre-approved?
Early as possible, never too early to have a conversation, create a plan.
What if they sign a lease today with their, for a year?
Still never too early. We can build a plan so that a year from now, they're ready to hit the ground running.
That's-
I'd rather 2 years ahead, I'd rather have that conversation as early as
If they're
possible.
signing a
set
lease
them up.
today, that's when they should talk to us. Literally 1 year and ahead. That's what I say. Like, sign a lease and be prepared for next year. So that's, if you guys have somebody that says, I'm gonna sign a lease, that's the best time to give it to us.
We can coach them to get them in a better position.
Mhm.
We can coach them on what they can do for their credit, how they can save. We can coach them, so this way, when they are ready to buy, they're gonna get the best deal.
And guess what, guys, if they come back, cause we keep in contact with them, like oftentimes, not you guys, but I get a referral. We keep in contact with them 5 months later, hey, your realtor, oh, they never called me. So if you send it to us and they come back, guess who we're gonna call? You.
I said one 6 years.
Well,
6 years ago. I stayed in contact with folks. Oh, I love all the emails, everything you've been sending me for 6 years. I haven't talked to you, but we had to call you back when we were ready.
And who did you send it to? The person who
The
referred
realtor
it.
referred, yeah.
Right.
Anthony, do we have to be a first-time home buyer for down payment assistance programs?
Yes, and a first-time home buyer is constituted whether you've owned the property in the last 3 years, not ever. So, that's a yes or no question.
primary residence.
A primary resident, right, if you've owned any kind of property for the last 3 years.
That you're not on the primary?
As a primary residence.
Yep, so let's say you're divorced
Yes.
and you moved out of that house 3 years ago, but you're still entitled with your husband, your ex. You're not, it's not, you don't own a primary because you're not living there. You just need proof they're not in that house for the last 3 years. You own an investment property, but you rent your primary, you're a first-time home buyer. It doesn't mean you it means that you haven't lived in the house that you owned in the last 3 years. That's what it comes down to. And yes, we do have a down payment assistance programs, that do not require you to be a first-time home buyer. So we have other programs that do not require it, so you could own a home now and still get down payment assistance. Okay? Also too, I wanna bring up, Anthony talked about it, rent versus own. The average homeowner is worth 43 times the amount of a renter at the age of retirement.
Why, Tony?
Talk about building wealth, right? When you're talking about it, that's a stat you guys should know. That's from NAR. The average homeowner is worth 43 times more than a renter at the age of retirement.
You're not selling a home, guys, you're building wealth.
43 times. It's on NAR. Go Google that. This is a NAR stat. It's been around for many years, but it's at 43 times right now.
Guess what, that's a great social post for you, right? Read it once you look at some of the posts.
Absolutely. And I just closed a loan that we did the buy down, that Anthony brought up. I just closed a few months ago, and the people, I'm not doing that, that's too high of a payment, I'm not, let me show you different options. We put them in a 3-2-1 buy down. It's the listing agent, the buyers, we got 6% seller concessions. That means the interest rate for the first year, this year through next year, the first 12 months was 3.375% interest rate. The second year was 4.375. The third year was 5.375. This fifth year was 6.375. The next year was 6.375, 6.3. I took that number and averaged it over a 5-year period because that's the average that, somebody's gonna know where they're gonna be and what they're gonna do. That average interest rate came out to 4.78. How many of you guys are getting 4.75, 4.78% interest rates for your clients right now? None of us, right? If we use these tactics that we're talking about, if you tell people about these options that are available out there, how many of you guys have a buyer on the fence that's not buying right now? We all do, right? We all do. But we can teach them things to help them buy houses in today's market. If they're not buying and they're a buyer, there's a problem anyway, right? This is a great market for buyers out there. A very smart person named Warren Buffett said that buy when nobody else is buying and sell when nobody else is selling. What's people not doing right now? They're not buying, right? What's that mean? This is a great market for our buyers. We have to let them understand these tactics and why, right? The things that Angie brought up about, Florida residents and getting to Florida to be down here and own a house. I mean, I'm sure every one of you probably have somebody you're working with that does not live here right now, that doesn't know that they're going to lose thousands of dollars every year if they don't become a Florida resident before the end of this year, right? Angie brought it up, but if you're not screaming to every person that you know to vote yes on that bill in November, and if you're not registered to vote, get registered to vote, because this is a huge difference maker in our industry, right? I'm not sure about this, because I don't know this is all new stuff, so this is really a question, because I have no clue. To go 50 to 150 to 250, or to go 50 plus 150?
No, it's just 150.
Okay, 50 to 150.
Yep.
And then the next step is another 100 to 250.
Yes.
So we're gonna go from getting a $50,000 exemption to $250,000 exemption
2 years, yep.
in 2 years. 50,000 exemption, I always tell my clients, saves them $600 to $900 a year in your taxes. So multiply that times 5. That's where we're going from. right? That's a huge savings that we're gonna eventually see and have. So we really need to vote for that. It's not affecting, if you guys don't know this, whoever's naysayers about this or thinks that, no, it's not affecting our teachers. We still pay taxes for that, right? It's not affecting our firefighters and our first line people. We're still paying that non-ad valorem tax.
But yet their unions are all pushing against it,
Yeah.
which I don't understand.
So that's the problem with this advertising and stuff that we're gonna see on TV. We need a 60% vote to say yes to make this happen. We need to be advocates of this, and you guys need to get this out in front of people as much as possible, because if we don't do it, we're not gonna get it, right? And this is our industry. This affects our, imagine if we had that happen in Florida, what's gonna happen with our industry? Angie just showed $200 something per month. Talk about affordability. We have a high affordability. Look, gas is costing us that much a month, so that's like a free gas bill, right? To not have to pay that on our taxes. So please get that out there and advocate that. This is the end of August, September, October, November. We have 3 months for people to understand what this is and talk about it and get people to vote on it. So please try to get that out there, because we really, obviously, everybody in this room wants that to pass. It's super, super important for our industry, and our wealth and our future, right? I think it's amazing, so.